Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of this training. In this session we will see how we can configure CCMS alert monitoring. We will create our own alert monitoring in our CCMS system. Let's go to our SAP system. Let's log into our SAP. Okay, so far what we have seen using the standard SAP delivered templates. And remember one thing, is the recommended way to use this CCMS is not to use the standard template. Okay, the standard template is basically you should use it for as a reference, okay, to create your own alert monitoring mechanism. Because the reason behind that is that the standard template will have quite a lot of information. So let's say if you go to this CCMS monitoring template, you have quite a lot of information. Basically, you may be not monitoring all these things in the daily basis. So we need to categorize what all we need to monitor. Based on that, use this as a template and create your own monitor. Okay, and you need to also make sure that, in my view, I will separate it like a daily monitoring, weekly monitoring and monthly monitoring, because you don't need to monitor everything every day. So you have to monitor some specific things. It's again depends on what your infrastructure, what is critical for you. Okay, you should monitor based on that. Okay, then you can separate it like that, then it will be quite easy for you to monitor. Okay, so if you want to create a monitor, first what we need to do is we need to create a container. Okay, so first of all, in this CCMS you can see that you do not have a create options here. Yeah, you do not have a option where you can create. For that, what you need to do is you need to go to extras and say activate maintenance function. In this function is not by default, it's not enabled. Okay, you need to go to extras and say activate maintenance functions. Once you select this, now you can see lot of buttons appears. The reason behind that is that this is a very critical monitoring place. By accident also you should not change anything. That's the reason it is just hidden like that. It's not hidden, it's actually protected. Here what we can do is you can simply create, click this button, and it will ask you create a monitoring set or a monitor. So you can create a set of monitors, you can create a monitoring set, as well as you can create one specific monitor. Okay, right now we wanted to create a monitoring set, okay, which will have a lot of monitors inside. Okay, if I say, then you need to select this copy. Now here you have quite a couple of options. You have it now we need to specify a name monitoring set. Let's say my SAP checklist. Okay, this, and make sure that this name should not start with SAP. If I start with SAP, it says modifiable set is only modified by SAP, meaning to say that you cannot start with SAP. Okay, so we go to create new monitor set, say my SAP checklist. It should not start with SAP. Yeah, now here you have some attributes that you can select this only for you. That means only you are modifiable, only you can modify this one. And if the next option is only for administrator and me, all the administrator who can are allowed to modifiable for other users, that means everybody. Then you can also enable if it is visible for public or not. Okay, if you say okay, now you can see there is one new set is being created. Okay, so if you want to edit this one, if you select, keep the cursor here and go to monitor and go to change. There you can edit. Okay, because otherwise if you double click it will not go to edit mode. Yeah, that's the reason. Otherwise you can go to change and you can change this. Okay, now inside this particular view you need to add the nodes. Okay, so I will select this and say create. Once you say create, it gives you the options. Okay, the new monitor, what all you would like to add here. Okay, now what I will do is I wanted to create my daily monitoring schedules. Okay, daily what all I want to monitor. Okay, daily what I want to monitor, I want to monitor the background jobs. I want to monitor the background. Then I want to check the dialog, and I want to check the NQ maybe. Okay, then I want to check the spool. Okay, these are all my daily monitoring tasks. Here you can see the monitor and the monitor set. Monitor set is the one which we created. Now we are going to create a monitor. Inside that we are going to keep these elements. Okay, so this is our daily check. Let's say daily checklist. Okay, now if you have seen, we have one node here, okay, which has the elements which we have selected from the standard template. Okay, let's create one more. Create. Say I wanted to have a weekly check on the database. I also want to check the system, and I want to check the SAP licensing and system configuration. Save, and I will say this is my weekly checklist. Okay, so I have one daily checklist and I have one weekly checklist. So if I select my daily checklist, then I can see all the parameters what I have for my daily checklist. Okay, after this anyway we know what to do. This one and my weekly checklist. Weekly checklist have some error somewhere here. Yeah, this we already seen. The operating system have some issues. This is page in. The paging we have an issue. Page in have a problem, and during the process, this is coming from the Java, some problems. Okay, so we created some our view, as well as we created some node which have some elements. And remember, whenever you copy this one, you always need to go and adjust the parameters. So until unless you adjust the parameters, it will not be effective. The meaning to say, these are all the standard parameters which is set by the SAP. Maybe this is not enough. Okay, so you go to the specific element and go to the properties, and you will change the monitoring parameters. Let's take one weekly, sorry, daily checklist. Background job monitoring, the status. Here we have stated attributes. Let's select something which have the parameter values. Yeah, okay. The NQ we have the number of numbers in the parameters because we have wanted to check what what we will what we can change it here. Say we now here we need to determine. Right now if you see it's 0, it's nothing is there, so it's a standard template. You need to change that. So when do you wanted to change it? At least here if you can see comparison values, this is based on what is the comparison value, otherwise in average in last hour. So based on that this threshold will be changed. Okay, so last reported value, if the last reported value should change from green to yellow if the response time for this NQ request, NQ start NQ request is let's say 50. Okay, 50 of 1 by 10 seconds, then it will change from green to yellow, then yellow to red, then another 50. So when it is 100, then it will change like that. Same like that when it's from red to yellow back 50. So 50 plus 50 100, it will be red, then 50 plus another 50 down, then it will be back to green. Okay, like this you can set the values. Here you also have this message class. Message class again is depends on each message class what you wanted to monitor. Next one is the alert text. Alert text, what kind of messages you like to have. Yeah, that is about the alert text. So you wanted to, when it reaches this one, then what kind of alerts if you want. This is the message class. In SAP we have message classes, and each message class will have message numbers. So if you know a little bit of ABAP, in the ABAP programs, whenever we create any program, if you wanted to send out a message to the screen, we create message classes. Under that we will have message number, and we use this message class and message number. Same like that we can use it here. If you see, this is a message class. If you say, okay, let's say if you say 2 may be a different message. You can see this 2 is a frequency, and 1 and 3 message threshold. This is a different message. Yeah, this is just a message. Okay, we can specify what kind of message you want. If this message is not enough, it has quite a lot of messages. If it is not enough, you can also create additional messages if you want. And same like that, if you go to the general, here also you can see the property of MTE, where also you can specify what kind of messages you wanted to display. Okay, then here also you can see the alert triggered, when you want to trigger the alert. Okay, the meaning to say how many alerts you want to be, when the particular alerts needs to be triggered, and what kind of alerts, how many alerts you want to keep, and like this information you can configure it here. Okay, let me save this, go back. You can also transport these changes. You can select this and you can transport these changes to different systems. So let's say if you have different remote systems, if you want to monitor, you can transport the changes. And one more thing you need to all keep in mind, that if you are doing a central monitoring and you are configuring connecting different remote systems, you need to keep it minimum as much as possible, because the data transfer between one system and another system should not be a bottleneck if you are monitoring quite a large number of systems. Yeah, so these changes can be transported here. If you are adding remote systems, a remote system can be added from doing remote systems. To add the remote system, basically you will go to the transaction code RZ21. There you will go to technical infrastructure configuration, and say create remote system monitoring entry. Here you will specify the system ID and one collection data and execution data. Collection data means these are all two different RFC destinations. One is to send and one is to receive. Okay, one is to receive means receive the information from the remote system. To send is to trigger the alerts to the remote systems, to send the information and trigger the alerts to the remote system. Like this you can configure it, but you need to keep in mind that if you are using quite a lot of different remote systems, quite if you are connecting many remote system to your central monitoring, then you need to keep the data you are pulling out from the satellite system should be minimal, in order to avoid any bottlenecks in the data transfer. Otherwise, this will be a bottleneck. You will be transferring a lot of data, then your monitoring should not your monitoring may not be that much effective as you like to have. So you can keep customizing this CCMS monitor, so that it can be quite useful when you to monitor in one go all the specific parameters in one specific time. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Okay, with this we are coming to the end of this session. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next session. Bye bye.